Welcome back to Morning Mealy Weather Forecast YouTube channel. January 19th, 2025, I have a major update for you regarding our two winter storms. One is currently occurring in the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic, and another is moving down the Rockies toward the Gulf of Mexico. A historic snowstorm is expected to hit the Gulf of Mexico, which is likely to be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for many people in the Deep South. And I'll tell you everything we currently know about it. However, let's briefly discuss the current storm before moving on to the Gulf of Mexico storm. It's snowing pretty hard here at the weather house as I'm filming this. Eastern Kentucky is under a winter storm warning. West Virginia up past Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and into New England is under a winter storm warning. The entire I-95 corridor is expected to receive between 3 and 6 inches of snow. I'm hoping for 2 or 3 here in my neck of the woods. However, some locations in down east Maine will receive more than 8 inches of snow. Traveling on I-95 from New York City to Baltimore, Washington will become extremely challenging as a result. It may not be as bad as you think because it's a holiday, but this snowstorm will be harsh. That 3 to 6 inches will drop quickly. It will adhere to the surface and quickly accumulate. Keeping the roads clear will be difficult. However, we anticipate that most of the Northeast will experience moderate effects. I believe that the most significant aspect of this storm will be the extremely cold temperatures that follow. In the Northeast, the temperature hasn't been this low in a long time. Prepare yourself for that. Additionally, that could cause the roads to take a little longer to clear. However, this is how the radar might appear by 5 p.m. this afternoon. Snow squalls are expected to originate in the lakes and travel to Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia. At this point, the I-95 corridor's most densely populated area will see the majority of the snowfall. There will be a lot of snowfall in Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. It will be snowing in New York City, and I think it will begin to snow heavily around Boston at this time. Around 7 p.m., New York City is likely to experience the most intense snowfall. Then around 9 p.m., Boston will experience the most intense snowfall. At that point, it will begin to conclude in the Baltimore and Washington, D.C. areas. In Boston, the snow doesn't end until around 3 or 4 in the morning. However, we have no control over that. If I go back a little bit, you'll see that Florida is currently experiencing storms while I'm filming this. A severe thunderstorm warning is in effect there. That sort of thing is probably going to continue today as well, but tonight the storms subside. After that, this one is no longer on our mind. The next storm is upon us now. What will be the next storm, you ask? Not that I see nothing. This appears to be a clear map. Well, it's not yet occurring on the surface. All of this is taking place in the upper atmosphere. But as I move this along, you'll see all of the magic beginning to take place here, particularly as we approach 7 a.m. on Tuesday, January 21st. Take a screenshot of this. You don't see this very often. Sleet in Houston, sleet and freezing rain in Mexico, and snow showers that reach the beaches. This will be remembered for years to come. Regretfully, the HRRR currently only extends this far out. Therefore, we need to reduce the resolution a bit in order to see any further into the future. Now, let's examine the GEFS ensembles. Take a look at this snow. It would still be snowing in the Gulf of Mexico if you were to board a dag boat and continue driving it south. It is your intention to turn around and search for land. You won't see nothing at all. The Gulf of Mexico is where you will be. There will be snowfall. It's nuts. Between Houston and New Orleans, the beaches of Louisiana and Texas may see some of the heaviest snowfall. What on earth is going on, everyone? I'm on the verge of purchasing a plane ticket in order to witness this firsthand. In addition to being utterly unbelievable, this is also very regrettable. On Wednesday, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, take note of all the pinks that are present here, particularly in southern Georgia and northern parts of Florida. Although we don't know exactly how much ice will be present, this is probably going to be a pretty bad ice storm down here in Florida. It also has the potential to be a historic ice storm. I don't want to raise any red flags just yet, but if everything works out perfectly, it looks like things could go south. Since our last major ice storm down here, I believe it has been in the 80s or something. That might be something we have to deal with once more. What about snow totals? I don't think it's yet appropriate to discuss precise figures. Because these forecast models are trained on historical data, this doesn't occur down here. No damned historical data about this type of storm exists, thus they have no idea. Okay, so as we move forward, the forecast will change significantly. I am therefore at ease showcasing the NBM, which combines all of the models. That figure is conservative. It's a washed-out, averaged-out gradient that shows what we could see. Despite this, central Louisiana is where 7 is displayed. The snow totals are slightly further north than what we were just examining with the GEFS ensembles, which is one of the intriguing aspects of the average of all the models combined. That's something to think about then. In fact, some of the snowiest totals might reach farther south than this. However, I am certain that whoever receives the most snow, whether it be in New Orleans or perhaps a little further north than in the Alexandria region, or even in eastern Texas or even in southwestern Mississippi, will receive more than 6 inches of snow, which will probably be a once-in-a-lifetime experience for whoever it is. Here in South Carolina and North Carolina, there is also a chance of heavy snowfall. Once more, though, some models are not as aware of that as others. This explains why it isn't present in this country's blend of models. This is a reliable figure to use. Okay, so this prediction is conservative. Although there will be some hot spots in the middle, a widespread 3 to 6 inch increase is undoubtedly possible from Texas to Mississippi. Throughout the rest of the East Coast, Louisiana could see widespread rainfall of 2 to 4 inches, with North Carolina likely to see some higher totals. Now, the ice is what worries me the most. Whoever ends up with the highest snow total should travel about 50 miles south, as that's where you'll start to see some serious ice issues. Currently, it appears that the most significant ice-related issues will occur in northern Florida and the southeast port regions of Georgia. It is technically possible that we could see much more than the 1/4 inch of ice that the NBM, an average conservative forecast, predicts for some of these locations. I will therefore begin to raise the alarm for a real ice storm if we begin to see totals that are getting close to 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, or more. At this point, we have to worry about a shutdown scenario in southern Georgia and northern Florida, where there would be prolonged power outages, travel would be impossible, and other horrible things we don't want to consider. Although I am not certain, it is possible that we will be dealing with a storm of that type here, and we don't even have that much chance for something like that to occur down here very often. Therefore, if I lived in the pink, I would prepare myself now. Obtain the generator, if you don't already have one, the gas or propane, whatever it is, the bread, and the milk. Purchase it now because there will be an event that could have a significant enough impact to cut off the power for a few days, making travel impossible. Whether or not you have four-wheel drive is irrelevant to me. In the ice, it doesn't work. This is where the WSSI Winter Storm Severity Index is becoming popular. Here in southern Louisiana and southeast Texas, we are beginning to notice some significant possible effects. This will increase as the forecast credibility increases and as time goes on. This only applies to the initial portion of that storm. It'll go farther too. I anticipate seeing a fairly wide range of severe effects on this Outlook product here, most likely tomorrow. I will therefore provide a more thorough update tomorrow. As of right now, however, prepare for at least significant effects on Tuesday in Louisiana and Texas. Additionally, the storm will bring with it the Arctic black that we have been discussing for a few weeks. Another reason we are worried about the power outages is that we will be dealing with two very cold temperatures. In the deep south, around Houston, it will be difficult to rise above freezing. Tomorrow morning, it will be 27 degrees in New Orleans, 25-26 degrees in Mobile, AL, and possibly even slightly below that. This will therefore be an issue. In the event that we experience temperatures below freezing, particularly in the mornings, and the power goes out for a few days, it will only make matters worse down here. This is just one more reason to ensure that we are ready for anything. But take a look at how cold it is. It's just for everyone after all. The temperature between Birmingham and Huntsville is expected to be 12 degrees tomorrow morning. Nashville, the temperature where I am, will be nearly 5 degrees. It's going to get close to 0 degrees up here in Ohio. In many parts of Indiana, it will be below 0. But take a look at this. If you think that 25 degrees in northern Minnesota is bad, try 15 degrees in northern Wisconsin. Between Duluth and Bismarck, the actual air temperature will feel like around 50 degrees due to the winds. The panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas will also experience some of those negative wind chills, particularly as Tuesday and Wednesday mornings draw near. Therefore, there will be a significant and prolonged cold. For many of us, it will be the coldest air of the season. Therefore, be sure that you are ready for that. We're in the heads-up phase, all right? As a matter of fact, we have been in the heads-up phase for some time. We are currently in the action phase. All right, we are confident enough that we know a big winter storm is coming to the south. Playing around is no longer an option. Let's be serious about it. It's not a case of maybe. It is undoubtedly a situation. Now, it's difficult to pinpoint the precise effects in New Orleans. You might only receive an inch of snow. You may only receive 1/10 of an inch of ice in the northern parts of Florida. I'll be honest with you now. Neither I nor anyone else knows. However, everyone in the weather community is aware of what we know, and you will hear about this on the news, along with other things like how this is a historic event. We don't want to frighten you. In actuality, it's not sensationalism for the sake of sensationalism. We know what can happen, so it's just in case. We are aware of the potential outcomes. Just to be safe, we need to make sure that the proper preparation and the appropriate words are spread so that no one is taken aback. Okay, so this kind of situation isn't always as bad as a tornado. However, there are instances when people say that they were hit by a tornado and they said, "Oh, we never knew it was coming," despite the fact that the National Weather Service and others like me had been warning about it for days. With this, we wish to prevent a situation like that. If this storm turns out to be as bad as it could be, it will be a big-time, major, impactful storm. Additionally, we're merely attempting to inform you of the potential outcomes in advance. Don't be afraid, though. Be ready. It's ice and snow, and it will melt. It is our hope that we will simply spend a few days indoors and then forget about it eventually. Please send me photos via email or Twitter if you do receive any snow from that northeast storm today. And if you have a yellow meter, I would really like to see those. Additionally, as the storm forms in the south, prepare for a possible live stream. To receive alerts around the clock, turn on notifications and visit the YAllBot channel. That's it. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.